InfoHub. In our headlines, consultation on the draft local content policy framework for oil and gas begins. UG and PAHO consult with stakeholders to tackle non-communicable diseases, and the Solid Waste Management Unit updates its strategy. Stay tuned for the details of these and more. Thanks for staying with us. Now for the details. The Ministry of Natural Resources today began consultation on the draft local content policy framework for oil and gas. Paul McAdam has the details.
The local content policy was developed with input from consultant Anthony Paul. The Trinidadian petroleum specialist conducted a rapid assessment of Guyana's preparedness for its oil and gas industry, facilitated by the United Nations Development Programme, the UNDP. Paul explained that the policy framework seeks to address issues like good governance, beneficial ownership, and capacity building.
All of these things are collectively called good governance. And we know that term, well, how does that actually work? And the policy framework tries to address that. How do we get good governance of the sector to ensure that value below the ground is translated to benefit above the ground?
Local content is the input of local firms into the development of an industry. In this case, utilizing local services from exploration, production, and the final product of Guyana's oil. Minister Raphael Trotman said the aim is to have the national local content policy guide future businesses.
We're hoping that this framework will become eventually a national model for local content, whether it be in the mining industry, in forestry, in any other area that we wish to introduce it into. And lastly, I'd just like to say that government will never pretend to have all the answers. Like you, this is new to us, and this is why we have turned to experts, international experts, and some here in Guyana.
GoInvest Chief Executive Officer Owen Verwey said the policy encourages joint venture partnership, which would see local content being maximized.
This document, I believe, will provide some sort of framework for the foreign investors, Exxon, and the local investors, and most importantly, government of Guyana, in ensuring that local content benefits the local economy and Guyanese in general.
The Ministry of Natural Resources will facilitate engagements across the country on the policy before it is finalized. The local content policy framework is expected to be completed before the end of the year. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Last evening, the art, craft, and food exhibition concluded at the Sophia Heritage Village. Gabriela Patram has more.
Over 25 exhibitors from the 10 administrative regions across Guyana participated in the exhibition. They showcased their products and also raised awareness about the indigenous culture and traditions over the last 5 days. InfoHub spoke with some of the exhibitors.
The exhibition was good because my business was good for the 4 nights. It was good.
This I'm enjoying myself, selling my things that I bring.
What was the popular dish that was sold throughout the 5 nights?
Haimaro, pepper tuma.
Actually, it was wonderful, you know. We get not much sales, but at least it was great.
I've been attending this more than 5 to 6 years, you know. And every time you come to the Indigenous Fair, you do enjoy it. The cultural activities, you know, the craft, the food, you know. Being the Amerindian people, you know, we have the authenticity in everything, you know. So it's good. The fair is always good for me. I know I can't complain because I'm a participant every single year. It's good to see that our people can come out and support every group in its activities.
We also spoke with some of the patrons visiting the various booths to learn which products sparked their interest.
Parents, they were talking about it, so we were thinking today we would come. My favorite thing was the music, and the food is very good.
We have been coming for a few years, and the craft is what brings us really. And tonight in particular, we have 2 objectives: to show Raleigh, who's a visitor and working here for just a year, a little bit of our culture, but we need to replace our hammock.
The final night of the Heritage Village saw cultural presentations performed, including dances, songs, and skits, among others. Also in attendance were Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Alicock, Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Valerie Garrido Lowe, Minister of Public Health Waldo Lawrence, and Guyana's Ambassador to Brazil George Talbot.
As the craft and food aspects of the celebrations concluded, activities continue across the 10 administrative regions of Guyana in observance of Indigenous Heritage Month. Gabriella Patron reporting from Heritage Village at the Sophia Exhibition Center for InfoHub.
Delicia Haynes now tells us that the University of Guyana and PAHO WHO are consulting non-governmental organizations and government agencies on addressing non-communicable diseases locally.
Opening the two-day event, Minister of Public Health Waldo Lawrence explained that in formulating strategies, attention must be placed on safeguarding the youth population.
Then we have childhood obesity, depression, misuse and abuse of drugs, and of course, suicide. Statistics regarding our children globally are disturbing, because in 2002, there were 1.2 million deaths in people under the age of 20, accounting for over 13% of all NCD deaths.
The consultation is intended to create synergies in initiatives between government and NGOs, focusing on research, advocacy, and capacity building. Minister Lawrence outlined some statistics to be considered.
11.7% of students currently smoke tobacco, 16.1% boys and 7.5% girls. And some 8.6% of students currently smoke cigarettes. Boys 13.3% and girls 3.8%. Thirdly, data from Guyana Global School Health Survey 2010 revealed that 15.6% of students ages 13 through 15 were overweight. 7.5% were underweight, and 4.5% were obese. Intake of fruit and vegetables, minimal. About 70% drank carbonated drinks. 2.1% drank alcohol regularly, and 32% occasionally over a 30-day period.
Minister Lawrence also noted that the local situation reflected global trends.
We need to continue to address the needs of our youths in the context of NCDs. And in the region of the Americas, given the above trends, we need to have participation or intervention at all levels, and not singularly, not the Ministry of Health alone, but we need to do it in a multi-sectoral approach.
Delicia Haynes for InfoHub.
Solid waste continues to be a threat, and the Ministry of Communities today unveiled its updated draft strategy to address this issue. Head of the Sanitation Management Unit at the Ministry, Gordon Gilkes, said improper solid waste management is detrimental to human health and the environment. He added that improving this is necessary and relevant to key development priorities.
The strategy is intended as a call to action and provides a roadmap for the institutional support, regulatory framework, appropriate technologies, community awareness and involvement, financing, management indicators, etc., that will aid in the integration of a sustainable waste management system towards a circular economy.
The updated strategy has 3 objectives, 6 goals, 44 strategic actions, and key performance indicators. Engineer and maintenance consultant Samuel Wright said these consultations are necessary since the team is working to equip all regions with draft solid waste management plans.
By the end of the year, we should have, all the regions should have draft solid waste management plans. The consultation is enshrined in our constitution, and it's very, very important that we somehow empower or encourage or coerce or people in communities to really participate in consultation. It's a very important part of getting laws passed.
The ministry has held over 30 consultations in all 10 administrative regions and hopes to finalize the strategy before the end of 2017. Education Month activities kick off with tree planting exercises. Crystal Stahl has the details.
The National Tree Planting Exercises were part of Education Month 2017 activities. Minister of Education Nicolette Henry participated with students and teachers of the Roxanne Burnham Nursery School, South Georgetown. The nursery students sang a planting song as the minister transferred guava and pear seedlings into the soil in the school's compound.
Planting we will go, planting we will go. We take some seeds and put in a hole and watch them while they grow. They grow, grow, grow. They grow, grow, grow. We take some seeds and put them in a hole and watch them while they grow.
Minister Henry said the activity is also in keeping with the government's broad vision of a green Guyana.
We thought from a very early age we should introduce our children, particularly those in school children, to the benefits of, the whole greening, meaning the reason why we should have plants, how they balance the environment, how important it is, and to assist with all the global warming effects that we're feeling at this point in time. So the students, more or less, will have to be taught at a very early age to protect, to conserve, and to their environment, and to promote the whole greening and sustainable development, which is what the government is pushing at this point in time.
InfoHub also spoke with the headmistress of the Roxanne Burnham Nursery School, Acton, Olivia DeYoung.
We are happy and grateful that our school was selected for the minister to come and be a part of our tree planting exercise. As we all know that this activity is being done throughout Guyana, and the children have a first-hand experience in tree planting. Of course, it's not from a seed, it's a transfer.
Tree planting exercises were conducted today by other schools across the regions. Crystal Stahl for InfoHub.
The Guyana Power and Light continues to educate its employees on chronic illness. Delicia Haynes tells us more.
The seminar was a collaborative effort between GPL and the St. Joseph Mercy Hospital. GPL Chief Executive Officer Renford Homer explained that it aims to provide continuing education which will assist employees with chronic diseases to better manage their illnesses and maintain healthier lifestyles. He noted providing quality service to consumers can take a toll on the health of employees without them recognizing it.
As a company, what we also recognize is that you can't ignore these challenges. You can't ignore the impact that this can have on our health. And so the annual program that GPL has endorsed, I think, is a magnificent one.
Minister within the Ministry of Public Health, Dr. Karen Cummins, said that more businesses are becoming aware of the need to combat non-communicable diseases within the workplace.
NCDs have a major impact on men and women of working age and their elderly dependents. The results are loss of income, lost opportunities for investment, and overall lower levels of economic development. That is why it is commendable that GPL has taken this initiative to speak to its employees about chronic illnesses and present alternative pathways for avoiding and in some cases reducing the debilitating effects of NCDs.
The minister also highlighted the negative impact NCDs have on national and global economies and its threat to economic development. The government has placed emphasis on the reduction of the incidences of NCDs and their complications in Guyana. This has led to the Ministry of Public Health investing 70% of its budget to combat NCDs. Delicia Haynes for InfoHub.
Thanks for watching. Connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye.